For over 10 years, I couldn't get my productions to sound how I wanted, so I buried myself in online tutorials trying to figure out why, and even having some of the same tools as other producers and mixers I envied, my productions weren't coming even close. I've heard the term referencing get thrown around, and I thought I was referencing the right way myself, but I was totally wrong, and over time developed a referencing system that would help me produce any desired result. I'm excited to announce that you can now use this same system yourself in our new course, The Magical Guide to Referencing. This gives you the exact framework I've used and successfully taught hundreds of students through the years. If you're ready to stop chasing your mixing tail in circles and ready to understand any mix you hear to replicate those same results for yourself, you can find a link to the Magical Guide to Referencing in the description wherever you're listening. See you there, my friends. Hello and welcome to Working in Music Sucks. My name is John Maciel, and for almost 2 decades I've been working in the audio recording industry. I've worked with producers and mixers like Bo Rochelle, Joey Sturgis, and Josh Newell, and countless others on records with bands like Era, Census Fell, and Moose Blood. And along this journey, I've also worked with 2 of the biggest music educational companies where I helped thousands of aspiring engineers achieve their dreams of making music production a fulfilling full-time career. But as great as that sounds, to be honest, the first 10 years of working in music sucked. I started this podcast to talk about what sucks about working in music so others like myself who love music production and want to wake up every morning fulfilled and driven to making records people love can do just that. Working in music sucks, but with what we talk about on this podcast, it doesn't have to any longer. If that sounds like your cup of coffee, then you're in the right place, my friends. Let's get into it.
YouTube. It's so funny because I'm making this episode talking about whether audio engineers should start a YouTube channel, and it's just so weird because we get into audio engineering and mixing to make records and work with artists, and then we start seeing other people start channels and we start wondering, should we do it? And a little backstory for Plugin Alley, the company. Plugin Alley is a company that is an educational music recording company. And when I originally started it, it was a e-commerce. So I was a reseller. I was reselling plugins and things like that. And I got offered to go work at a company doing educational content and social media and stuff like that. So I was like, well, I've never worked at a company like this, and ideally one day this is what I would want to do. So and the e-commerce business was cool, but there was so much I didn't know and understand. And every time I learned something new, I felt like I don't have enough bandwidth to do this by myself. And I'm being new to the industry. I was like, I don't know. But one of the things I did catch on to early on, I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel since I was in a band. I remember even trying to tell some of my bands, we should do covers and post them on YouTube. And they thought I was freaking crazy. I was like, no, trust me. It will be cool if we do it right. And they thought I was crazy. And then lo and behold, it became a thing. That was the first indicator of I need to do what I'm thinking because I'm usually right. And people around me that don't understand my brain are going to shoot me down. But that's a whole different conversation. So with this e-commerce company, I realized one of the biggest advantages was to use YouTube. And I, of course, was way too fucking scared to do YouTube videos. So I had my buddy make YouTube videos for my company, and they came out pretty good. And then when I went on board for this other company, I stopped posting on there, but YouTube was always in the back of my mind. But I didn't want to make videos I didn't want to be like a gear channel. You can only talk about a plugin or something for so long until your brain just melts, right? And I remember, I think it was October 2021-ish, I made a decision to leave the last company I was with. And I just, this internal gut thing was just it's time to start a fucking YouTube channel. And then I sat on it for a minute because I was like, well, what do I want to do for a YouTube channel? Because whatever I do, that's what I'm going to do for the next 5 years is how I viewed it. And I'm like, I'm going to build something. And like I said, I always wanted to build an educational media company. And I now understood how to do content, X scale, And I understood the basics on how to do one particular type of content really, really well. And I was like, well, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And I just took my company Plugin Alley and I was like, well, instead of being an e-commerce business, it's going to be an educational business. And I'm going to do a main YouTube channel for now, a podcast, which is the one you're listening to now, and then a newsletter. And then I have my first digital course, which is about referencing, and I'm going to expand on all these things. But there's certain things where I'm like, okay, I need to just build the system, and then slowly, as I can bring more people on board, it can grow. And the more and more I got to understanding it, I used to be opposed to YouTube and people going and like audio engineers going and starting YouTube channels. And it was because like I didn't, like I mentioned in the episode where audio engineers get social media wrong, most get YouTube wrong also. And they don't see it in a business way. They see it in an, I want to get people to look at how I'm doing. Like it's selfish reasons most of the time. I'm not saying all the time. I'm just saying most of the time it's selfish reasons. And it just bothered me. And I wanted to make sure also I didn't want to go and do it like that and for those reasons. So I really thought about it, and then I changed my strategy. I got started, and then very soon I was like, "Oh, this is not going to work for me." And I'm on I think my 5th rendition of the YouTube channel, and I finally got a flow for how I want to do this channel. So it's growing. But as I keep doing the channel and things go well, and I'm gaining subscribers, and I'm testing new things out, I came to the conclusion I'm like every audio engineer should have a YouTube channel. Just like they have a business card or a website, or a mix template. And it's not for the reasons you may think. I truly believe that audio engineers should have a YouTube channel as a way to create like a how-to journal entry for their business, and also showcase their skills so that if they want to negotiate for a discount on gear from audio companies, they can. So let me go a little deeper in before you hear this and you go and start a YouTube channel, because no one's going to watch it first. And you need to ensure that you go into the mindset of like, no one's going to watch my videos. So the way you want to do it, don't pay attention to what everyone else is doing. First of all, you're going to do a YouTube channel as a way to document your process for you. Now, what do I mean by that? So the first thing you want to do is, what's one thing that you always, are helping artists with? Changing guitar strings, intonation on your guitars and bass, setting drum heads. Make videos about things like that can help the artists that you'll be working with. So you're like, oh, this is how you do this thing. Vocal tuning, things that you wouldn't be bothered if a band or an artist was like, yeah, no, we'd rather do it ourselves. Cool. Here's how I do it. And you send them the video that you've made on your YouTube channel. And all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, this is great. Like, we're watching his process. And you might be like, in your chair, like, oh my God, I don't want them to know my process. Trust me. Just knowing the process isn't enough to know your taste and your style. Don't be worried about it. We get very scared that if we let people know just one thing into how we do something, they may not need us anymore. And that's just an insecurity we need to get over. That is just not the case. And the ones that are able to reverse engineer what we're doing are not going to go work for you anyway. Or go work with you anyway. So don't even worry about it. But you want to treat each part of the process as a way for you to, this is how you export, this is how you bounce files. If you're dealing with people in different DAWs and you keep running into the same issue, create a video on how to export stems for mastering or mixing or whatever. Like, create mini videos that maybe are 5 minutes or less long of you just showing how to do the thing, and then just post them with the intent of knowing that these are just little entries into my system and workflow for me to have to recall later or to send to artists later. And, do the same thing with like plugins. If you have a certain plugins that you really enjoy and you want to talk about them, make videos on like why you like them, and just put it there on the shelf and don't even think about it. You're not making videos hoping to go viral and gain views. You're doing them as a way to document your studio process for later. And if you're going to a studio, record drums one day, record as much as you can that day and turn it into like a vlog, and make another video where you're showing examples of like this microphone on this drum head and this drum head, and talk about it. And the reason you want to make videos like that is you may run into an opportunity where you can say, hey, would you mind if I like get an artist rate on these microphones, and I can make a video just like this. And most companies will see it as like, okay, if we give it to him as at artist rate, he'll make a video, or they'll make a video that lives on a platform that will be there forever. And as long as they add the tags in the description, when people are searching for these mics, this video will always be there as a sort of marketing tool for us. So it may not need to go viral, but knowing that they have that piece of content out there, most companies are cool enough that they'll give someone an artist rate in exchange for video, because you're still paying, but now you're getting, for that discount, you're making a video. And if you don't want to make the video, by all means, just pay full price. But it's a good way also to start building relationships with these companies that you really, really like and enjoy. So that's one way to think about it. I would never do a video for free. I did that at the start years and years ago. I am so against that now. Something of exchange has to be valued, because the marketing value on a video that will live on forever is just insane, especially if it takes off. You may not get views right away, but there's plenty of channels that have like 20 subscribers and then they'll have like 1 million views. And it's a product or something that people found all of a sudden, and they're like all of a sudden they have all these views, but no one subscribes because they realize, oh, this is just one of those channels. And if that is something you're comfortable with, I mean, it's a great way to just document your process. And I do believe that it really is helpful to just have your process out there, because it's all about building a social footprint. People might find you and be like, oh, this person was really, really helpful. Let me go find them on their socials. And you have your socials in your description, and then they find you and they're able to talk to you. Will it happen right off the bat? No, probably not, but it's still there. It's really crazy to me that the more and more my channel grows, the more and more inquiries I get. And I just don't have time to mix or do records anymore, because I'm solely focused on growing my social media platforms, that I have to refer work to my friends, because I just, I would love to say yes to everything that came my way, just because I'm so appreciative of people finding me through the channel. But I also know that I don't have enough, but the opportunities are there. So yeah, I definitely think that, if you haven't considered starting a YouTube channel, you should. It is work to do a couple videos here and there, but if you make like 20, 30 solid videos and just let it live there, and then update a video whenever you change your process, you always have these videos to go back to and send your artists and clients. So it's really worth considering. And imagine if your studio grows and you have like interns coming in and you don't have time to show them your process and everything. Film it and just throw it on YouTube, and then be like, yeah, here's this playlist of like how I do things in the studio, or how I get ready for mix sessions and things like that. And now you have, you can save time by letting them watch those videos. And then when they come in, they can ask you questions, and you're like, yeah, this is how you do this is how you do that. And you've just saved yourself so much time by doing it this way. And that, it's just invaluable. So yeah, working in music sucks, huh? But hopefully with what you learned in this episode today, it doesn't have to anymore. Catch you in the next episode.